Hello, welcome to today's video about the second and third conditionals. Let's start by saying that before watching this video, you should watch the earlier ones called the Introduction to Conditionals and Zero and First Conditionals. This video will refer to some things from those earlier videos and won't go over them in full again. Zero and first conditionals were the home of possible situations, like if I get home before 3 p.m., and so on. It was possible I would get home by then. Now, with second and third conditionals, we are getting into dreamland. These are things that can never happen or are very unlikely. People use a lot of different words about this kind of situation. Words like unreal, imaginary, or hypothetical. In each case, they basically mean let's just pretend. So, for example, if I was the boss, we'd have every Friday off. Obviously, I'm not the boss because I wouldn't be pretending if I was the real thing. So, this is not a real situation. I'm just having a fantasy about what it would be like. Another example, if I won the player of the day, all the girls would love me. The way the grammar works is that the condition, the if part, uses the past simple, and the result has an auxiliary, mostly would, but could or can are sometimes used, and then plus verb one. So, for example, if I won, past simple, the player of the day, all the girls would, auxiliary, love, verb one, me. Another example, if I was, past simple, the boss, we would, we'd, the auxiliary, have, verb one, every Friday off. Note, there's a debate about whether to use was or were in this sentence, if I was the boss or if I were the boss. It's covered in the introduction to conditionals video, so I'm not going to repeat it now, but basically either is okay. When you stop and think about it, it's a bit strange to use the past in this situation. Even though I say, if I was the boss, which is past tense, I'm really talking about now. I'm not saying if I was the boss yesterday, we would have every Friday off. I'm saying if I was the boss right now. This kind of conditional is used a lot in songs where the singer is thinking, what if things were different? Let's try some songs. If I ruled the world, every day would be the first day of spring. So which kind of conditional? It's not a real situation, so we can forget about zero and first. It's past simple. If I ruled, past simple, the world. And then auxiliary, would, everyday would, and verb one, be. So this is second conditional. If today was not a crooked highway, if yesterday was not a broken trail, if tomorrow wasn't such a long time, then lonesome would mean nothing to me at all. The tenses are past simple, all three of them. Was not a crooked highway, was not a broken trail, wasn't such a long time. The result, lonesome would mean nothing, is auxiliary, would, plus verb one, mean. And then nothing to me at all, would mean nothing to me at all. So the if part is past simple. The result is auxiliary, would, plus verb one, mean. So that is second conditional. If tomorrow never comes, the love I gave you in the past Would it be enough to last if tomorrow never comes? The condition, the if part, is present simple, comes. The result part has an auxiliary, would. So the if part is present simple, the result is auxiliary, would. And that doesn't fit the rules. So this is not second conditional, it's irregular. In other words, it doesn't fit any of the named patterns, like zero, first, second, third, mixed. If tomorrow never comes means if I die. In fact, it means if I die before you. So the meaning is if I die before you, will the love I gave you while I was alive be enough to last until you die? There are also many situations like this where it's not clear if it's a dream or a real possibility. For example, if I ruled the world, not a possibility. If I win the lottery, possible but very unlikely. If I die before you, a 50% chance. If they will make Moana 3, a high chance. No one is checking if the chance is high or low to decide if it's a dream or not. Okay, let's move on to the third conditional. This is a lot clearer because we're talking about if something had been different in the past. And of course, that's impossible. So the tenses are past perfect for the condition, the if part, and auxiliary plus have plus verb 3 for the result. So for example, I would have been rich if I had listened to my parents. If I had listened to my parents is the condition, the if part, and the tense is past perfect, had listened. The result is I would have been rich today. Would plus have plus verb 3, been. So this is a third conditional. Another example. If I had passed that exam, I would have got the job. If I had passed that exam is the condition, and the tense is past perfect, had passed. The result is I would have got the job. Would plus have plus verb 3, got. So it's third conditional. Okay, your turn. Which one is second conditional and which one is third? So you have to choose only two. First one, if I was sick, I wouldn't go to work. Number two, if you put ice cream in the sun, it melts. Number three, if it rains tomorrow, I will still go to school. And number four, if I had taken my medicine, I would have been okay. And the answers, number one, which is the second conditional, if I was sick, was, past simple, I wouldn't, auxiliary, go, verb 1 to work. And the other one is number four, if I had taken my medicine, had taken, past perfect, I would, auxiliary, have, and then been, which is verb 3. So that one is the third. Which one isn't second conditional? So only one this time. Number one, if I was sick, I wouldn't go to work. If you were old, you wouldn't play cane ball. If I leave you tomorrow, will you be okay? And last, if we were honest, we would always tell the truth. You might want to pause the video here because I'm going to go ahead with the answer. So the answer is number 3. If I leave you tomorrow, so that is present simple. Will you be okay? And that is future. So not second conditional. So you have to complete the sentence to make it a second conditional. If I was a teacher, I. And you might want to pause the video here because I'm going to go ahead and the answer, in your answer, the first word should be would and the next word should be verb 1. Complete this sentence to make it a third conditional. If I had studied harder, I. So I'm going to go ahead with the answer now. And it should be structured like this. The first word should be would, or maybe could or might, an auxiliary, and the next word should be have, and then verb 3. Complete this sentence to make it a third conditional. If I had 1,000 baht, I. Again, you might want to pause the video. So the answer should be structured like this. The first word should be would, or maybe could or might, and the next word should be have, and then verb 3. You gave me a chance, I would take it. So if you gave me a chance, I would take it. Which kind of conditional? And the answer is. You gave me a chance, I would take it. Second. So gave, past simple. If you gave me a chance, and then the result, I would, auxiliary, take it. Take is verb 1. And this is the end, my friend. See you again next time.